everyone, I'm Allison.
And I'm Bryce.
And we're Better Half Reviews. And today we're talking about Chai. It's a game designed by Dan and Connie Kazmaier, and the art is by Sahana Vijay and Mary Hastik. I'm so sorry if I said that wrong. I tried. And it's from Steep Games.
In Chai, you are a tea merchant specializing in a type of tea. So black tea, green tea. I'm not a tea master. I don't know. But you fulfill orders and you're trying to become the best tea merchant.
All right, so let's check it out. Okay, so this is the setup of Chai. We do have the playmat. This does not come in the retail version of the game. Everybody needs to choose one of the player options. They have different symbols and colors. So we have the blue and the white, otherwise known as white tea and oolong tea. Grab your matching tokens and place them on your board. So we're setting up for a 2-player game. That determines the number of teacups you have out for your game. So we'll have 2 teacups with 1 tip next to each cup. This is your round marker. It has Fahrenheit and Celsius, and that'll keep track of each round when it gets to the top. When you finish that round, the game is over. You have a pantry board with different pantry tokens, a money pouch with all the different types of coins, and then this is the market board with all your different flavor tiles. We'll talk about this a little bit more in a moment. And you start with 3 ability cards on top, and this is the ability deck, and the first player token goes to whoever drank tea last. Each player color has a certain number of order cards, so we're going to pick out our player colors and put the rest back in the box. What each player will do is shuffle it up, draw 1 order card. This will be on hold. Draw 1 and put it on the board. Shuffle up the remaining cards, and then draw out 2 more cards for the board. Now your game is set up to play. Your goal in the game is to get the most victory points. You get victory points by fulfilling orders. The number down here says how much that it's worth, and also coins that are left over at the end of the game. On your turn, you can choose one of 3 actions to do. You can visit the market, take items from the pantry, or reserve a card and use an ability. Anytime you choose to visit the market, you gain 3 coins to spend, and you have to spend at least 1 coin while there. So if you notice, there's the coin symbols right here, 1, 2, and 3. This column has the red all the way down. If you buy one of these tiles, it costs 1. If you buy any of these tiles, it costs 2. If you buy any of these tiles, it costs 3. So if I buy this tile, I would have to spend 1 coin. After you purchase it, you slide it down, and now you can continue to buy if you have more money. You can combine things, so I could buy both of these for 1 because they are in an orthogonal pattern. You can do either up and down or left and right. They are both in the 1 coin section, so I can get these just for 1. If I wanted to, I could buy this grouping. So it has up and down, left and right. They're all connected orthogonally, but they're all within the 2 range. So I would have to spend 2 coins, and I could get all of those. If, for example, I really needed to buy these berries, they are in 2 sections, the 2 coin and the 3 coin. You would have to pay the higher of the 2 values, so I'd have to pay 3 coins just to get these 2. You spend your money to buy those tokens, and when you're done buying, you need to reload these from the bag. The tokens that you buy, you put on your board right here. A different action you can do is take 3 of the tokens from the pantry. You can either take 3 from up here, or you can also take from the draw bag blindly. So you can draw 1, 2, put them down here on the plate, and I'm going to draw 1 blindly. 3. And again, anytime you take tokens or market tokens, you got to reload it back up. If for some reason you really didn't like any of those options, you can spend 1 coin to reset the pantry. Your last option for an action is to reserve a customer. So you can reserve one of the ones that are available, or reserve one from the top. So I'll reserve this one. If you choose to reserve, you can also use one of the abilities available. So for example, this ability says I can sell any 1 flavor tile for a silver coin. So that means any one of the colors. Something to note whenever you reserve cards, your max number that you can have on hold are 3. Once you have done one of those options, you can now choose to fulfill an order if you have what you require. So for this order, I happen to have 2 berries, so I'm going to fulfill that. And this has the white tea leaf, so I have to deposit the 2 berries and a white tea leaf, and I pick one of the cups to put it into. If I am the first person to put an order in that cup, I can take the tip jar. The tip jar is a possible bonus, so I get 1 coin. And of course, I reserve this and fulfilled an order. I need to reload this back up. And then it would be the next player's turn. Let's say I had everything in order to fulfill this order. This one is blue, and I'm the white player. So if I'm going to fulfill this order, I need one of the blue leaves. I have to pay the blue player 1 coin and deposit everything into one of the teacups. Once all of your tip jars have been taken, that triggers the end of the round. So move this little round marker up, make sure everything is refreshed. So you draw a new ability card, and whoever is supposed to go next will decide where to place this. So you place this ability card on top of one of the existing abilities. And finally reset the tip jar, and you're good to go. So one thing to remember, when you want to fulfill an order, it can be one of the cards you have on hold, or any of the ones that are on the play area. So these are wilds. This is a wild pantry token, and this is a wild flavor tile. If you get to the point in the game where all of one person's tea leaves happen to be all used in the teacups, then all of those cards that match the color will be discarded from the game. Since you no longer have the tea leaves to fulfill those orders, they are not usable. And then you reload. So again, once you get to the end of 5 rounds, you count up everybody's fulfilled orders and leftover coins, and whoever has the highest total is the best tea merchant. If you happen to have a tile, the person with the least number of fulfilled orders is the winner. If you do get the deluxe set, there are trays available and these metal coins and a metal first player token. All your cards come in a little tuck box. There's lots of different art on every single card and a few little hidden gems of famous people. There are rules for solo mode and also co-op mode. Alright, so that's how you play the game. Let's talk about how I feel about it. Bryce, what are some of the pros?
This is a very beautiful chai.
So, great.
What I mean by that is this game has some great components to it.
Oh, okay. Yes. The components for the game, super gorgeous, super pretty. These cups are really cool. I love putting the tiles in them. We do have the deluxe copy, so we have like the metal coins and game trays inserts. I think this comes in the standard version.
I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, the pieces to it look wonderful, feel really cool. I love those little flavor tiles and like.
Well, not to mention the artwork on all the cards as well. And the little Easter eggs of like, I know who that's from.
It's Picard or General Iroh and many other people. But yeah, this game looks beautiful on the table, especially with the game mat. We have that. And I love setting it up that way because it just brings everything together. Looks gorgeous. And the gameplay, it's a very, very light gateway game and intro game. So people who don't really play games could play this one pretty easily. It's just you're trying to fulfill orders, pick up some stuff, very easy to teach and to play.
Yeah, I was surprised by how easy the game was. There's not really any like bad moves as long as you're picking up tiles that kind of get you closer to fulfilling orders.
The only stressful part is if like somebody picks up the tea order you were just about to cash in, right? Right.
Just because I have some clairvoyance and know what you're gonna do.
I was trying to brew some tea, okay? My customer needed it. You stole my customer. That's what happened. Anyway, yeah, so it's a pretty chill game other than when someone steals your customer. So let's move over to the cons. Don't actually drink out of that. This is just for fun. For how easy this game is to play and get into, I feel like the special ability cards are not always super clear.
Mm.
I'm always looking up, what does this one mean? What does that one do? Oh, I can trade coins for this. It's not super clear to me, and we've played it several times. I feel like it should be a little bit easier to understand just by looking at it. Everything else is super easy to understand. The abilities, not so much, in my opinion.
I tend to agree with you. I've had to look up ability cards pretty much every time I've played the game. Um, they just have some unintuitive symbols on them, and you're like, oh, okay, I kind of get that now, but that just didn't really like say that to me at first.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a minor point because they do have every single ability card listed out, and it's really straightforward once you read the little text.
And it's easy to like look it up, but yeah. My other negative is the flavor tile bag. It's cool, but it's not super big enough. Like, I don't care about getting my hand in the whole way because you just need to get out the top. But there's no room to like mix all the tiles in it. I can't mix the tiles on the bottom. So basically I'm stuck with whatever's towards the top to pull out. So I try to like work around it. So yeah, I dislike that this bag is not big enough to properly mix all the tiles, other than, you know, getting the same tiles over and over if you're not careful. So that's one of my negatives. I wish the bag was a little bit bigger so I can mix it better.
And one of my cons is how they track the rounds. Um, you put the tea that you're making into the cup, and then you take the tip tile, and
Once all the tips,
once all the
jars,
tips are gone, then you move on to the next round.
you could have your game go super quick
You can,
if people do that.
but it just for me, it seems like pretty much everybody's gonna fulfill an order in each round. So it's like maybe the round's over when everybody fulfills at least one order. I don't know. It just gets kind of weird in my opinion.
I do like that the temperature marker is the round keeper, and you have the Fahrenheit and Celsius on either side. So I'm like, oh hey, that appeases everybody, everybody and the Americans, because everybody else does Celsius.
Essentially, it appeases the Americans.
Yes, pretty much. So overall, I think this game is a nice light intro for people looking into board games. I think this is a good game to show that there are games that are pretty that you can play. Like, you don't have to play the standard mainstream games like Monopoly and Risk and stuff. Like, you can say, hey, here's a really light game for you to try that looks gorgeous and it's really easy to play. I don't think it's for everybody. And Bryce, you can get into that.
Well, for me, yes, this is a very light game. It's very easy. It's very pretty, but that's about all it is for me. This game never drew me in. Doesn't feel like there's like that much depth of strategy in the simplicity or anything. It's you go for the highest T card that you can, or not the highest T card, the most expensive, the most victory point T card you can at the time, and the person that does that the most wins. There's not really much strategy, so it just didn't draw me in. Another game we played recently, or I played recently, that is pretty much just as light. The game only has like two choices, and then you throw some things, and you decide if the choice was good or not. Was Call to Adventure. Again, that game is pretty. It's light, and for me, I was a lot more satisfied with that because there's a story. You kind of can tell a story through your gameplay.
Are you not satisfied with this because you can't actually drink the tea? It doesn't satisfy you? Sorry, I had to.
But that's my thoughts on it. It's a good game. I know that a lot of people are gonna like it because it's pretty and it's easy. But just for me, there was nothing that drew me into it.
Yeah, I feel like it's super pretty and it's chill. I feel like I'm more likely to get it out when I'm introducing it to people who don't really play games too much. Like, kind of like what I said, to be like, hey, this is a really pretty game and it's super easy to get into. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get it out a ton. There is a co-op mode and a solo mode that play fairly easily that you could give it a try too. But yeah, I feel like it's super gorgeous, but kind of expensive for what it is. But yeah, I mean, you get amazing looking components, and I love looking at the components and feeling the components. But yeah, so it's a very light game. I wouldn't think like a super avid board gamer would be like, yeah, I love chai. It's a light game, so be prepared for that. I think you probably went into it thinking there was more.
I did. I thought there was going to have a little bit more depth, but it didn't, and that's okay. Not every game has to be super in depth and strategic.
True. So if you're looking for a gorgeous gateway game, check out Chai from Steep Games. They have some other games that you can play that they just did. Chai Tea for Two, which I've heard has a little bit more strategy. So I'm kind of interested to try that one out. And then there's also, I think, High Tea, which is like a expansion for this one. I don't know. But there's different options, and there's actually a companion app that you can use with Chai, I think, to keep track of scores and stuff. And we forgot to use that the last time we played, so maybe we'll try that sometime. But yeah, so that's Chai from Steep Games. Check it out if you want. We'll put a link in the description where you can get it. I'm Allison.
I'm Bryce, and we're Better Half Reviews.
Happy gaming.
Have some chai.
Happy tea-ing? Brewing. Happy brewing. It's a wild market token. Flavor tile. Just gonna do that again. For solo mode and also co-op mode. I'll leave you to discover that yourselves. Oh man, it's so hot.
Yeah, you are.
Don't actually drink out of that. This is just for fun.